When last we left off, the party had returned to Nordgard to find that it was in quite a sorry state. They, through investigative means, discovered the location of Tolona, the goddess of poison and disease, and ended her threat in the gods' war. And that's where we left off. But before we start with these characters, it has been far too quiet in the gods' war in other parts of the world, and I am going to teleport everyone somewhere else. And we're going to do something a little different, where you're each going to take control of an NPC, and we're going to have a brawl.
All right.
Well, this will be interesting.
So, there are a few gods in the town of Glimmerview, and two of them are at odds this day, on the 14th day of the Gods' War. Lyra has infiltrated Azuth's inner circle with her own wizards, and are going to get a surprise round in combat because they're all using disguises, and Azuth does not see this coming.
I can roll initiative for two of the characters. Am I supposed to be able to?
Yep. I also need to have one volunteer for Azuth and one for Lyra.
I'll be anybody you want me to be.
I'll be Azuth.
Okay, and I gave Jodi control of Lyra since she said she'll be anybody. Can you guys see the dice to roll for them in the combat tracker, or am I going to have to reload those tokens?
I am just reloading the whole world at the moment, so.
Yeah, I can see mine.
Awesome.
I can see mine.
So there aren't a whole lot of abilities to keep track of in this particular combat. They are all first-level wizards, so a few spells there, but nothing super flashy or complicated. All right, so we have one of Lyra's gnome wizards up first. I believe Jodi, Marthe, and Shane are on the team that control those ones. So I'm not sure if Shane or Marthe are ready to start play immediately.
This one that's on top looks like I have control of it, the one that's up there first.
Oh, really?
No, that's one of my gnome wizards.
I'm able to move it too, so.
Oh, I show you as having control over the male wizards on the right-hand side.
Yeah, he can't move the blue wizards.
Okay, that's good.
So Shane or Marthe, are you guys wanting to be gnome wizards, or are you not wanting to be at the moment?
I can't be, and I don't think Shane can either right now.
Okay. Then my baby wizard would like to cast sleep on those people.
All right.
I never cast from in here, so I might need a moment figuring that out.
Sure. If you just double-click on the icon for the character, and then click on Spellbook.
Yep, I'm there, and then click on the dice for sleep.
Yep.
Yeah, that was totally going to be my opening move.
I'm casting it so it's on them and not on us. I don't have... I'm very bad at this. Anyway,
no,
it's not on us.
it's more the map that's the issue. I think the scale of it is not 5 feet. So yeah, I can just remove that circle, and we'll know that you're just hitting the three of them.
Thank you. That would be my goal.
So do you click on damage for that?
I don't know where to do that.
I think you might just have to do a 5d8 roll in the chat box or something, maybe.
No, the formula is 5d8. So when you clicked on sleep, it should show up in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
The spell and then damage. 23 hit points worth of creatures are going to take a nap.
That's all of us.
The end.
In ascending order. So lowest hit points goes down first,
yep,
and then highest. Well, you guys have 25 hit points, so one of your gnome wizards is still awake.
Which one?
We'll say the top one is still awake.
Okay. And it's Lyra's turn. She would also like to cast sleep.
Okay.
Okay. Already working on it.
That will be enough to make the last gnome fall asleep on Azuth's team.
Excellent. And they stay asleep until they take damage or somebody tries to shake or slap the sleeper awake. Great.
Now to slit their throats.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Yeah, but I think we are going to wait until the next round so we get all of our actions. So
This is a surprise round, so they wouldn't have gotten an action this round anyway.
okay, then we'll start slitting throats.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to come up and my little wizard's going to start slitting this dude's throat.
All right. Give me an attack with advantage.
Sounds good. We're all going to focus on one as they go down. How do you attack?
Or
little
actually,
dude?
if they're sleeping, I think it's an auto crit. Let me just double check that.
I believe that's true. I think you still have to roll to hit, though, but with advantage.
Yeah.
I don't expect it'll be that hard. Our RC is actually 16. That's not bad.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to check one other thing. Oh, we could also charm one of them to kill his friends. That's kind of mean.
So when they're unconscious, they're incapacitated, can't move or speak, unaware of surroundings. Creature automatically fails strength and dex saves. Attack rolls against creature have advantage. Any attack that hits the creature is a critical if the attacker is within 5 feet. So yeah, you roll at advantage, and if you hit, it's a crit.
Hey, does anybody know whether a quarterstaff or a dagger does more damage? Because it's not showing me, and I don't know how to tell.
Quarterstaff is D6, a dagger is D4.
I would
Unless you
suspect-
dual-handed, then it's D8 for the quarterstaff.
But honestly, at a detriment to my own side, I think you'd probably be better at the dagger because you can use dex, so you probably have a plus to it, whereas strength you might have a minus. I don't know your stats, though.
I've got both pluses, but a bigger plus on dex.
Yeah, that might be worthwhile using the dagger then.
Okay, so this gnome wizard will try and use the dagger. So will Jodi, and she is not sure how to do that. I'm clicking on the dice by the dagger.
Just hit the
It goes in
attack.
chat, and then you have to click on attack and choose advantage when a window pops up.
Thank you much, Lee.
A 15 will miss.
That's all right. They didn't wake up.
Or wait a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so back to the start of the order. The first gnome wizard at the top gets to go.
Well, come on down and try and kill that same dude.
That is a hit. So critical hit. And he wakes up.
Okay.
Oh, for some reason it's linked these two gnomes, so they're both taking the damage and both getting the...
That's because they're linked to the actor, so you have to when you created the because you created them from the same creature, right?
Yeah.
So you have to unlink the. I don't know if you can unlink.
Ryan, just let me kill one and then you can put the other one to full health.
Okay.
That's we're doing this systematically, right?
Sounds good. All right. So that is it for that gnome's turn. And then it's Lyra.
I think, didn't Lyra kill it? Because one gnome
Nope.
missed, right?
The first one from the last turn missed. And then
Gotcha.
now Lyra's going to come down and kill this one, hopefully.
Ryan, I unlinked them now, so they're separate.
Thank you. Nope, they're still linked. It's okay. Who is Lyra attacking?
The one that's almost dead
All right.
and awake, because that's no good. Oh, I rolled with advantage to take the first roll. My apologies.
Well, they're prone still because they haven't gotten up. So
Yeah, but that
attack
still
rolls,
misses, right?
attack rolls have advantage.
Okay, but that still misses, right?
Yes, a 13 still misses.
Next dude's going to try the same thing.
Okay. Attacks with advantage. That'll hit. And you...
Let's go with shield. Oh, no, that still hits that AC. Okay, never mind.
How long does sleep last for?
Just wondering that.
A minute. I just looked.
Oh,
That's
man.
lots of rounds. Excellent. Okay.
All right. So we're back up to the top of the order.
Yeah. And I'm just checking her spells. 1 sec. She has, like, no damaging spells.
She's also out of first level spells because she only had one going into this because they had cast Disguise Self beforehand. But Mind Sliver is a damaging spell.
It is on an int saving throw.
Yep.
We're going to
I
kill
think
the
you should do
old-fashioned way.
that.
Okay. Next up. And we are going to attack Azuth.
That is a hit. And Azuth is dead.
Lyra was wanting to get that, but he's got to go down. That's more important. And then we are going to come flank and miss.
Yep.
We have lots of time, so we're going to wait and start when we get all 3 of our attacks. She's strategic.
All right. So back to the top of the order.
Yep.
A 17 hits. And that's all of his hit points.
Ah, damn.
Okay.
And so Azuth falls.
And darkness reigns the land.
I think they were both neutral, right? So,
Yeah.
whatever.
And I learned how to use characters in this.
See, now everyone's going to become more polarized. The good are going to be gooder, and the bad are going to be badder, which are words.
I don't know if that's the one I actually wanted to win.
Which one won?
Lyra.
Lyra, and what was Lyra?
Illusion.
Illusion. Oh, okay.
Basically, she got off sleep at the beginning. All 3 of her wizard characters rolled higher initiative.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're back in the marketplace, or?
Yep. So back in Nordgard, you guys have just slain Tamora and her guard, and the counselor has sheathed his weapon and has surrendered and repented for the errors of his ways.
Which is good, because that was very foolish of him.
Doesn't mean we shouldn't give him a hard time.
Oh, no.
And
No. Wynn's
think
giving
there
him a
should be-
scolding.
and there should be a punishment.
Well, see, I'm thinking like fair recompense is maybe we trade him for that half plate. He can have a item we don't really need.
Like Vecna's left hand?
Or he just gives us the armor because he was like being a bad guy, and if he doesn't want the whole city to find that out, he just gives us the armor.
He knows it will make him die.
Oh, I like it. Extortion. I love it.
I can't make him give up an item that's going to make him die.
We can give him one. But now, and then we'll have his ear, right?
We can ask him that. And I will. I'll say we are going into battle to deal with these gods that have caused this. That armor would be very helpful. Would you be willing to trade it for another item that would save your life, as this one is, or preserve your life as this one is, while letting us have the protection of the armor?
Can you give me a persuasion roll?
Can I help her by bleeding on him? I don't know.
I can say I'll help her, and I'll walk up and say, you don't deserve that the way you acted. We're at least willing to trade you. Why don't you listen to the little lady?
All right, roll with advantage.
Does not help.
He looks at the armor and puts a hand on his chest and says, well, this armor is such a statement piece, though. I mean, I look so good in it. I'd really hate to give it up.
I don't think you're right. For one thing, this is a summer color, and clearly you are an autumn, sir.
I like that.
Ulnan sighs, and he walks up to him, and he just glowers at him, and very softly says, reconsider that.
Ulnan would like to use the help action to assist.
Okay, you guys can roll Intimidate at advantage.
Did you see the persuasion I rolled with the whole autumn winter thing?
Yeah, you guys had already done a persuasion check, so we're going to try something different.
Oh, come on. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Well, the intimidation worked, so they did try again.
Oh, Jesus. I think Nibbs takes a couple of steps back from them.
Still might win. Which probably backs up their intimidation check quite nicely.
Yeah. Harley holds up his hands. He's like, okay, Okay. All right. You can have the half plate armor if it's that important to you. But do you at least have something that I can have so I don't die?
Yes, and I will hand him Vecna's left hand.
Ew.
It will protect your life the same as this does.
But you'll have to wear it on a string around your neck.
I would perhaps put it in a bag.
On a string around your neck.
He looks at it with disgust, and puts it in a bag and says, "Thank you. I'll go and find a private spot to remove all this armor for you."
No need. We can help you with it.
Insight, please.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's being honest. He's clearly not happy with getting a severed, decayed hand, but he recognizes that if he doesn't follow through with his end of the bargain, he's going to be in deep trouble. So he heads off to a quiet area and strips off the armor, and hands it over to you.
Thank you. This will aid the fight, and we will come back and let you know when conditions are safe. I recognize you're taking on something that is uncomfortable, and I really appreciate the sacrifice you're making to try and save our land.
He sighs and says, "I'm sorry, I didn't see the damage that she was doing to the city on my own before you pointed it out. I feel ashamed. But thank you for all that you've done for Nordgard."
Please just try and keep the people safe while we're gone. And if you hear of anything else that's odd like this, and there's still several other things potentially in the city, let us know, because there are young gods walking right now that are causing chaos and harm in their wake.
I'll let you know if I hear anything.
Thank you.
So who's going to take the half-plate armor? Oh, actually, there's a bunch of stuff that you guys got last time, and I don't know that anybody put claim to any of it.
We have a vial of liquid that gives +2 poison damage on hit, black leather gloves that give +2 animal handling, a white metal ingot that gives +2 investigation, and no longer Vecna's left hand, and now some green armor.
Yep.
So I think I recall we were going to give the poison vial to Jesse, which makes more sense because I think he's even proficient as a poisoner. I might be wrong.
I am proficient as a poisoner, and I'd happily take it.
I would second that.
Okay. Sure thing.
I would be interested in the white metal ingot if nobody else is, but if somebody else is, that's cool too.
What does that do again?
+2 investigation. It would mean I would have a +10.
Yeah.
I think that would work.
Yeah, I think that's probably fine with me too.
And the armor, in my opinion, I think should go to Akai, because she's more like our front line than anything else.
I'd be willing to take it if nobody else wants it.
I'm good with that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I could use it, but I think it's more valuable on Akai.
And look at that hair. Like, she is clearly a winter. And
it'll look good.
And the green will contrast nicely with that.
My signature color is pink, though, so I guess I will accept still.
And that leaves the black leather gloves for +2 animal handling.
I would trade those for the thing I have right now, which I don't really like.
What do you have right now?
Apparently nothing. Just one second.
And Ryan, do you have these in D&D Beyond or no?
Yes, I should.
Oh, that's weird.
I think Nibbs has Sierra's bracers, is what I see in Forge.
Yeah, I'm looking in Forge and it's showing me my inventory's empty. That's weird. I'm going to be fresh.
Oh, I know that we had given you Sierra's bracers at one point in the past, but I had also thought that I had reclaimed those.
Hopefully not, because that was the only magic item I had.
Well, that's
Either
awkward.
way, I think you can have these gloves.
I think that works out then.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Well, that's
Oh
awkward
yeah,
because
Sierra's bracers.
I gave away the disguise kit that I had, which means old Knell would have spent some time without a magic item, so we've cheated Ryan of being mean to us.
Curses.
Well, I'm okay with that.
It wasn't on purpose, though, so that's got to buy us some goodwill.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Nibbs, are you keeping Seer's bracers?
No,
Okay.
because he's not a sleight of hand guy, so he's a rogue, but I'm really trying to keep him away from being a rogue. you know.
Right. So Nibbs, I added the black leather gloves to your D&D Beyond and removed Seer's bracers.
Okay, I'll update my character.
Who wanted Seer's bracers then?
Me.
Jesse.
So I can steal all the things.
Okay. And I know the items have the gods' names attached to them. Just know that the only item that you've known who the god was for it was Vecna from this latest batch.
I also think that you confirmed that we could figure out it was Talona's vial, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to come back, and that counselor will have taken over all of Nordgard with Vecna's hand.
Be awkward.
Ooh-ha-ha.
Are you sending out the rest of them to D&D Beyond, Ryan?
I am. I'm getting to it.
You rock. I'm just so happy we lived.
Yeah, it was touch and go there.
But we fought well together. We coordinated well. I'm very proud of us.
Marthe, you have the half plate in your inventory now, and Wynn hasn't attempted to determine whose item that is yet. She only did the ones that you guys received at the end of last session.
Would you like me to do that one?
I think perhaps we should find a place to rest and we can identify it there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I don't feel good, guys. He's got 1 hit point.
Oh no. Is anybody able to heal you?
Oh, thanks, Ulnan. I feel way better.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Okay.
For the win.
I think I've added everything to D&D Beyond now.
And,
All right.
and you just made Micheal happy because he had guessed that's whose ingot it was?
Ah,
So, as the player, you just made him happy.
nice.
Yeah, would be sad right now, though.
Yeah. All right. So if you're looking for a place to stay, there are a couple of inns fairly close by. The Lock and Key is to the west, and what is that? 10. The Blue Lock is to the north, just south of the Central Market.
Seems to me the Lock and Key was a little bit shady and had some drow elf connections. Maybe we should try somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe. Unless we think we can find another god there, and then we should maybe rest first.
So maybe we should make our way to the Blue Lock then?
Yeah, let's go check that place out.
Okay.
You guys head north to the Blue Lock. It appears to be a fairly good common inn, good size, not terribly busy this time of day. Yeah, you don't actually see anybody working at the moment inside.
Could old Knell nip behind the bar and grab a key for a room? Help ourselves?
You certainly can.
Do you want to roll for it?
Are you being stealthy about it?
I mean, you said there was nobody there, so do I have to be?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, so I grab us a room and say, right, let's head on up to the private suite.
And when this just seems natural, everyone always just shows her to her room.
All right. So you head upstairs. You don't run into anybody along the way. It's quiet. About midday, and you get to the room no problem.
Yeah, we check ourselves in, and we're free to start planning and scheming. What's on people's minds?
I'm going to take a short rest.
Me too.
Me free.
I think we all shall.
Yep, I'm beat.
So, Ryan, I updated my character after I leveled it up and I'm at full hit points. I can't recall what hit points I was at, so I'm just going to put myself to 2 and then I'll use my hit dice.
Okay.
Never mind. Would you like me to try and see if I can tell about that armor now? Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. You can give me a religion check, DC 20.
Can I guidance that?
Yeah.
Guidance?
What time is it, by the way, Ryan?
Guidance won't.
It's about midday.
So no, I can't tell you who that one belonged to. Sorry, they're from a long time ago, and I can't always figure it out.
Do you think you could look at these gloves?
Sure. No, I've already looked at the gloves and I could not figure it out.
Oh.
I looked at everything we got that night, and the armor's the only new one. And the only one I figured out from that night was Vecna's hand.
Right. Okay. Well, now that we've had a little bit of a rest and identified the armor, should we maybe do a little bit of shopping if we can to try to, get some healing potions or something, and then go after the big bad orc that you guys were talking about? Grumsh?
Yeah, that's at least one that we knew where they were, and I think not letting him get too far is a good plan.
Yeah, I agree as well. I believe he might be a problem, knowing those orcs.
Okay, well, unless I don't know that there's really anything we can strategize about other than looking to see what we can get for supplies. Do we just want to?
I think we're fairly low on funds as well, so I guess we just look around and see what we can find, and if we can get some, great. If we can't, then I guess we just gotta go.
Ryan, given that there's a wizard's college here or wizard arcane area, would they have spell components?
They should.
Okay, I'm going to take a few moments to figure out if there's any future spell components I'm going to need that I could stock up on now if we have the cash.
Okay.
Except for D&D takes 3 years to load.
I was like, oh, maybe I should get some spell components too. And then I looked at Longstrider and I was like, oh, it just takes a pinch of dirt.
That one's good. You got that.
Wynn, while you are shopping for components, or after you finish shopping for components, an older man, bald with a big bushy white beard, approaches you. He's wearing a really nice robe covered in arcane glyphs and a fancy-looking cummerbund. And he bows before you and says, my dear lady, is your name Wynn, perchance?
And given that she's gone by Tia everywhere but with this group, she's a little startled.
Oh, I thought you had come out as Wynn.
To our party. No.
Oh, just to the party. So, okay. I retcon that then. He would have asked you if you were Tia.
Yes, I go by Tia.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I have heard through the grapevine that you recently dealt with a rather unpleasant lady in the city by the name of Talona.
And what's your name, sir?
My name is Denier.
And what interests do you have in that possible interaction? And nice to meet you as well, Denier.
Well, safe to say she's not one of my favorite people, even at the best of times. And I had come to this city looking to deal with her. It is not upsetting to me that you already have.
And what was your specific interest in her? And can I tell if he's a god? Can I do a religion check to see if I know of any gods named Denier?
You certainly can.
And do I have other people around me? Because I'm kind of nervous right now.
No.
Little stranger danger?
Yes.
Yeah, you have not heard this name before.
Okay. What was your interest in her specifically?
Well, I have been traveling through the Northlands and heard about some ill that she had caused in another town on her way here. I felt that she needed to be dealt with before she caused too much harm and mayhem.
Well, I did witness it. She is no more, and she shall cause no more harm or mayhem.
I am very happy to hear this. And he leans in close to whisper to you, and he runs a hand over his robe and says, "It's a rather nice robe, don't you think? You could say it's custom made for me. I don't suppose in your travels you've come across any other items that have this particular look with these arcane glyphs written on them?"
I haven't. We haven't come across anything like that, have we?
No.
No, but why don't you come meet the rest of my group in case any of them have?
Oh, that would be delightful. I didn't think that you did, but you never know. Perhaps you'd found something and someone else had stolen it from you and was nowhere near here. You just never know. It's always good to check.
And what are you the god of, sir?
Oh, there are a great many things that fall under my umbrella. Art, cartography, glyphs, knowledge, scholars. I have very many interests.
Wynne smiles at that list, actually, without even meaning to. Can I do an insight on him to see if he is basically generally positively disposed to me or not?
Sure.
It teetered on a 20 before tipping to that.
Curses. Yeah, you don't really get a read on him one way or the other.
Fair enough. That is a good list of things, sir. Do you mean harm to either me or my friends?
Oh, I don't think there's any reason for that. If you are against someone like Talona.
She did a lot of damage that needed to be righted.
Oh, indeed. The damage that I've seen is quite disgusting.
Well, I've just finished a little bit of shopping. If you'd like to come back and meet my friends, I would be happy to introduce you.
Certainly. It would be wonderful to have some people to chat with since I lost my traveling companion.
Oh, what happened to them?
A tale for another time, perhaps.
Okay, so she'll lead a fancy-dressed person right back to the group.
All right, everybody. You see Wynne come back from her shopping trip with an older, wizardly-looking fellow in tow.
Hey, this gentleman, Denier, was that the right name?
Yes, Denier.
Denier.
A pleasure to meet those who bested Talona.
Denier approached me in the arcane area, and I thought perhaps we should come back here.
Deacon's going to stand up and say, I think that was a good idea, Tia. And he's going to walk over to Denier kind of menacingly, but not overtly threatening, like his no hand on his weapon or anything. And he's going to ask Denier, so what are your intentions here, sir?
Oh, my intentions are to survive.
Sorry, this is out of the conversation. He didn't, or Jodi, you didn't introduce him as a god yet, right?
Oh, she'll slip that into the conversation and the things he's a god of. And he's looking for more of his items, which makes sense.
Yes, I know they're not near here. I was just wondering if you had run across them in your travels.
Are you a good god or a bad god?
Oh, most definitely good.
Insight.
Insight?
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Because everybody answers that. I've learned that playing Lottie.
Yeah, Nibbs and Ulnan, you get a glimpse of a twinkle in his eye and a bit of a smile when he says it before his face returns to neutral. You do get the sense that he is a good person.
So, do you mean good as in honorable, trying to protect people from harm? Or do you mean good as in, I have this weird brand of justice where I definitely hurt a lot of people in the process? Because I kind of met some of both of those recently, and I'd just like a little more clarity.
Oh, I am not particularly warlike. No. I am most interested in preserving knowledge and sharing knowledge. Perhaps we could share some stories.
Do you know about the other gods?
Yes.
I show him the gloves and I say, do you know who these gloves belong to?
Oh, certainly. Those are the gloves of Talos, Lord of Storms.
And is he a good god or a bad god?
His storms are known to be quite destructive at random. He's about as bad as they come.
Okay, well, I'm okay with using his stuff because I just would feel bad if I was using like a good god's thing.
Yes, no, the items themselves have no alignment, as it were. I wear Ogma's cummerbund here, and I do not feel any particular draw to act any differently while wearing it.
Are you willing to help us identify the other items that we don't know where they come from?
Oh, yes, I'm happy to help in all matters of gaining knowledge.
I have this ingot.
A very interesting item indeed. A long and storied history with Sharoite. This particular piece is not only branded with the Starburst of Sharo, but you can see it's also been branded with the hammer and anvil of Adaman, god of the dwarves. A most cruel twist of the knife by Sharo and Doreth, no doubt.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for sharing your knowledge. We have had uncomfortable encounters in the not-so-distant past.
Oh, knowing my brethren, I don't doubt that at all. There are a great many who would harm anyone in their path.
Well, sir, you see, we are interested in protecting the people. As far as I can tell, that means taking out as many of these bad gods as we can find. Do you have any interest in helping us in that way?
I have one in particular that I hold a grudge with, since he killed my traveling companion. I need to do battle with them all eventually, so to have friends and companions aid me in this would be most welcome.
Who killed your traveling companion?
A rather nasty sort, by the name of Grumsh. I'm not sure if you've heard of him.
Yes, we
Funny
actually
you
were
should
headed
say.
there. He's who we're headed towards next, actually.
Interesting. Yes, my traveling companion Farlang and I were dropped into Frontier. He is interested in traveling. The further the distance, the better. And I have interest in cartography, so the two of us got along quite famously, telling a great many stories as we headed north into the Brightwood to investigate a meteor or meteors that people had seen fall in that direction when we were ambushed by a great many orcs. We had already managed to recover one cache of items, which is how I came to be in my robe and this cummerbund. Farlang had not found any of his items in the mix. And unfortunately, the orcs easily bested him, while I managed to barely escape with my life.
That sounds terrible. I'm so sorry.
I've made peace with it. Obviously, I knew that we couldn't both survive this war, but I had hoped that we would at least be able to make it to the end together.
Really? I think that would be terrible. To have to fight your friend and companion?
I suppose. Perhaps it is best this way. But still, it's never easy to lose a friend.
No. I know what that's like. I lost a village full of friends.
Oh, my condolences, little one.
I'm sure they're still okay. We're survivors. We have ways.
Tell me, are your people common in these lands?
Oh, no, not very common at all. I'm not sure how we came to be in these lands, but that's kind of been lost in history. But there's some of us.
In that case, you may wish to travel to Goldflake at some point. I met a few of your kind there.
Oh, do you know any of the names?
Certainly.
Backstories?
All of the above. He gives you a list of names, and you do recognize them as some of your kin.
He basically is like hanging on the words of this guy, like listening to him, and he's asking about them, and like, when he says like, yeah, Ted Greenfield, And I'll be like, yeah, Ted Greenfield. He was like, and he has some sort of mannerism or something. Like, he was like that, right? And, stuff like that. Just trying to, like, get more information.
Yep. By the sounds of it, there were a few stragglers that made their way to Gold Flake and arrived after Tolona had been in the area. So there were quite a few dead, and your people came in and helped and are kind of filling roles that were left vacant and have been well received in the community.
Yeah, that's because we're helpers. We help. That's what we do.
Well, the world is going to need a great many helpers before this God's War is done, so it's good to know that your people are around.
Would I be able to ask you a question about an item I have?
Indeed.
It's actually this armor I'm wearing.
Ah, yes, the half-plate armor of Yondala. She is quite a spirited protector of the halfling people.
And Ulnan perks up at that.
She's a protector of the halfling people, and she wears half-plate.
I'm sorry, I don't follow. What do you mean she was a halfling?
Oh, no, I thought you said she was the protector of the halfling people.
Yes, halflings.
And she wears a half-plate. That's a coincidence.
Yes, a good play on words.
Yondala, you say?
Yes, she's a good sort. I haven't seen her yet, or heard of her, but I hope she does well.
Ulnan's face grows momentarily quite clouded, and he does his best to recover as quickly as he can from it.
Are you okay, Ulnan?
As our friend said, a conversation for another time.
Sounds good. We can save it for the road.
That was her, wasn't it?
I guess it's a conversation for now.
You don't need to answer. I'm sorry.
Denier looks at you and nods somberly.
Deacon will walk over and put a hand on your shoulder and just like in your ear, be like, "It was an accident, friend. It just sometimes these things happen."
I appreciate that, but it appears some things have changed. Like I said, a conversation for another time.
And he'll just nod his head and move on. And then Deacon will go back towards Denier and he'll say, "Well, if you're going to come with us on the road to find Grumsh, you should know we had a pair of gods with us, and unfortunately they did not survive."
Was it Ollimander? Was that the name?
Aladamara.
Aladamara killed both of them. Well, did he kill both of them?
No, Shades killed one, but we didn't see him kill her, so nobody knows that Shades killed Maliki.
They were killed in a battle with... Oh, and now I can't remember the name again. Why is that one not sticking in my head?
Because Oladamara is a funny name.
With Aladamara, which is a funny name.
We also fought Tyr in that battle.
Well, we didn't... Well, she'll give some glances and just be quiet.
Many gods died that day. It was not a pretty day.
It was a bloody affair. Merkel, Oladamara, Tempest, Maliki, Tyr, all of them fell in that great fight.
Me too, but you guys got me alive again, which I really appreciate.
Denier just, his eyes go wide and he sighs heavily. Says, that sounds like something I'm rather fortunate to have avoided. A great many gods falling all on one day like that. No wonder the world is so much changed so quickly.
Yeah, it was a terrible day.
So you're a god of knowing things. Might try taking a stab at a question. If we are able to find people to step into the gods' roles, to take on their tools and take their place in the gods' war, will that help mitigate the damage that losing that god will do?
I'm not familiar with which you speak. Taking on the roles of gods? I haven't heard of this in my travels.
I've said too much, clearly. Do we kill him?
You say that out loud?
Yeah, and I'm looking at him to see what his reaction is.
No, don't kill him. I like him. We're going to keep him.
You can give me an insight roll at advantage.
Do that, but aim it at Old Knell?
Yeah, for Old Knell.
19.
I get nothing on Old Knell.
You can see that his hands tighten around his staff as he takes a step back from Old Knell, sizing him up.
Knell?
I'll step in front of the old guy and placating hands in front of Knell. Like, it's okay. He's a good god.
Tia will give Nibbs a look too. I have a question. I don't think you need to worry about anything right now, but I do have a question for you, sir. What is your intention to other gods that we run into, specifically other good gods?
Well, if we run across other good gods, I would certainly be open to forming partnerships and alliances as we can. The more good gods we can keep alive, the better the world will remain.
That was previously our thought as well.
And yet you say you fought Tyr.
Well, I certainly didn't.
He was causing a right riot back in that town, judging people mob justice.
Suffice to say, he fought us and came off the worse for it.
I see. Well, it is a most unfortunate loss, but as we've already discussed, losses happen, and ideals are difficult to cling to in difficult times. I imagine a great many people who have been living through this time are experiencing similar things.
All right, bottom line it. You're a god of knowledge. You're a decent bloke. You're not helpless. You're not a liability, and you're willing to defend yourself. But you don't know everything about your situation. You might be willing to work with us, because you've known that we're a proven commodity when it comes to taking down evil gods. We've already declared our intention to go kill Grumpsh out in the woods. Do you think that you'd be up for something like that?
I definitely do.
All right, everybody. What do you think? Personally, I don't feel like we should kill him right now, for fear of seeing what all the damage we've done by other deities that have died.
I would ask one more question to see if it is possible to help the people, if you know of it. People are fading away, not having interest in eating, unless they're protected by a god item. I suspect this is due to a deity's perishing. Is there anything that we can do to help the general public? I would hate to see 98% of the world perish.
From what I've seen with regards to this issue, people are not dying from their lack of consumption. They are simply sustaining themselves. I do not believe that the majority of people will perish from this. They will simply reach a new equilibrium. They will be thinner, less hardy, but still very much alive.
Thank you. I have been worrying about that and worrying about the people. So I really appreciate you sharing that information.
Well, I think the more allies we have, the better. So if he's going to help us with Grumpsh, I say we let him.
I agree.
I'll nod. This has been a very challenging time, and I think Grumpsh is likely to be a very challenging adversary. So it seems we have the same goal. And I agree that the more evil gods that go away and good gods that stay is probably better for the world currently.
Nibbs agrees too.
Okay. Excellent. Then, in that case, I need to do some work around Nordgard for the next few days. But once I'm ready, I would be happy to be your traveling companion. And perhaps I will be even more helpful once I am done.
Oh, what sort of work around here? Days is probably longer than we were hoping to spend.
I do not wish to meet Grumpsh and his war band underpowered. I'm going to seek aid from other wizards and see if I might be able to convince some more people to help us.
Convince more people to help us or provision yourself? What exactly are you planning, mate?
Both.
Can I do another insight? And specifically, I'm trying to determine if he's avoiding talking about other gods that might be in the city.
Okay. Yeah, you're not getting any sense that he's being cagey about it and going to be dealing with any other gods. You get the sense that he's being honest, that he's going to speak to other wizards in the city.
Well, thanks.
2 questions for you. These wizards, if they placed yourself under your influence, your care, if they became worshippers of you, do you believe that that would shield them from the ravages of the Gods' War?
No, I don't believe that. But as followers of mine, I would be willing to share the bounty when we run across more godly artifacts, and that would help to shield them a bit more indirectly, I suppose, not directly from following me.
Right. If we help you with your efforts, do you think we could speed up our exit of the city a little bit?
Certainly.
Is everybody interested in helping Denier with his errands so that we can get on our road?
I would like to leave quicker. We knew approximately where he was, and the longer we take, the less likely he is to still be there.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So you guys head to the Arcane District, and there's no shortage of wizardly types in the area. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for when it comes to recruiting followers for Denier?
Old Knell would head to the Adventurers Guild, or the Explorers Guild.
Sure.
I think I'll go with you. I don't know that we should split up alone in this city.
I think that's really smart.
Okay. So we've got one group going to the Explorers Guild and the other to the Arcane District. Is there anywhere else that you guys want to go?
I am going with you.
Nibbs wants to go to the market, and I guess I'll join him.
Oh, we're really splitting up. This is going to go so well for us.
All right. So you guys split up. The market is closest to where you guys are starting from, so I will start with Akai and Nibbs. What would you guys like to do in the market?
Well, I guess we'd be wandering around.
Well, we're going to look for provisions.
Well, yeah.
We're going to look is there anybody running a stall there?
Yeah, there are a couple of people. Like a lot of the marketplace looks pretty empty, but there are a couple of people still at stalls.
Okay, I start it there, and I look to see what kind of provisions are available. I guess, is there any healing potions? Is there any I don't know. Is there any alchemist fire? Is there any I probably would have raided the party funds before I left. Is there anything in there?
Do we have any money?
I don't know.
We have a grand total of 75 gold.
Okay. Never mind. I left nowhere. We have nothing to sell either. We have no normal magical items or anything like that, right?
I picked up an extra short sword and a shield and something from that last fight that you could certainly sell.
And we have a couple more things from that last fight. Let me pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some odds and ends.
Oh, the other thing for me was a hand crossbow, but I want to keep that so I can have 2 loaded at this point. So you can sell a shield and a short sword.
Okay, a shield and a short sword.
Okay. You can check market value and take 25% for any common items that you're selling.
We have another short sword. You were keeping the hand crossbow. We have studded. I'm just going to copy and paste it. How's that?
That would be lovely.
Oh, unless Akai wanted the shield, because I think she can use her katana one-handed. So on the chance that she wanted to bump her AC, I'll leave that up to her though.
You'd be giving up your katana does 1d8 when you, or 1d10 when you use it two-handed. The attack chances are the same, but it's 1d8 if you use it one-handed, but you get +2 to your AC. So I think you got a 16 right now, so that'd be an 18.
I threw it in chat, Shane.
Awesome, thanks.
I think half plate is. Oh yeah, I guess it is 16.
Before we get too far into these conversations, would I be able to talk to y'all up in our room before we split up?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm suspecting we all migrate.
Yes, I migrate.
Yep, I will too.
So I'm not sure how best to deal with this. Wynn had said we should try to find gear that is relevant to our god. Well, as you know, most of you, I am the one who killed Yolanda. So the essence of Yolanda is speaking to me about that half-plate armor. And I'm not sure what to do about that.
What's it saying?
I think, is it good or bad? I'm going to kind of look at my armor like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
You just made me very happy with that. Player-wise, that was awesome.
Essentially, from what I can tell, it would like its stuff. It would like its stuff.
It?
The
As in...
essence of Yolanda, as that is a piece of Yolanda's armor.
Oh, I see. There's a part of you that wants that armor, and you're having trouble coming to grips with that because it's not your usual part. It's the new Yolanda part of you.
Well, and it's also somewhat what Wynn had said was something we should try to do of getting...
Find the things that match us.
Find the things that match us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And attune to them because then you can help.
Do you have another magical item, Akaya?
Yeah, I have the sandal.
Okay.
So I can totally give this to you. That's totally fine.
And I'm currently wearing a piece of armor that is a god item also. Although, from what we've heard from others, it is not necessarily a good god's item.
What kind of yeah, that's the leather armor of Ball, right?
The Ball's black leather, yeah.
Yeah, which is not really good for Akaya, I don't think.
At the moment, it's +2 intimidation is its extra stat.
Yeah, but I think she's going to want more armor than that.
Is it leather or studded leather?
It is just leather.
So what is a tie? Well, that's what she's wearing now, or previously, right? So it wouldn't really change much.
The thing is, to survive what we are trying to do, Akai is the best place for that armor to be.
Oh, well, it's simple then. Akai has to kill you to get the spark into her.
Whoa.
We'll just get you resurrected.
So
I give you a look.
Yeah, you all.
I'm just kidding.
So Shane, you recall the look that was given to the counselor that you said even I back away from? You get something similar. I'm not going to roll for it though.
Ulnan, just relax. I'm just kidding.
So, anyways, all of you, give it some thought. What the best way for us to proceed will be. I imagine this voice will probably get louder over time, and I worry that may become a problem at some point.
Well, I don't want to make you go crazy.
And I also didn't necessarily want to have this conversation in front of our new god friend.
Well, I'd rather just give it to you now and just stop the potential of something really bad happening.
Well, I think that if you found your calling, so to speak, I don't know if we should fight it. Perhaps it will be better with you if it matches your spirit. Maybe it'll give you some extra power we're not aware of.
I'm not certain that I am going to be the best fit for the god of the halfling, but I don't know.
Well, let me ask you, Ulnan, do you hate halflings?
I don't hate halflings, but I don't know that I'd call myself much of a protector either.
Well, I'm not certain about that. You've been pretty proficient at protecting us from falling to death.
And there's one thing that's clear about these gods that we've seen so far. They're not necessarily themselves or living up to their own ideals anyway. Maybe it's something you'll grow into. I got faith in you, mate. They could do a lot worse.
Ulnan mumbles something about how Tempest died, Wind died.
Is it something that we would have heard?
Sure.
Well, this is a war, my friend. And, in a war, people are going to die. And there's only so much you can do. And you are not a god at this point. None of us are. I don't think you should be so hard on yourself.
Kai's gonna take off the armor and give it to him.
Brian, do you see that 36.25 gold I got for all the stuff?
Yep.
Okay. Was there any oh yeah, never mind. We're still talking.
I'm worried it will harm our group, but if you're sure.
I think I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure if we can... Sorry, Jesse, go ahead.
Besides, what harm could having this armor on you do that we're not already going to do to ourselves anyway?
Fair enough. And with that, Ulnan will start to remove the Ball's armor he's wearing. But you all wanted to go to the market, and Wynn wanted to go get supplies, and we're on a great grand recruitment drive, I guess, aren't we?
Yeah, I suppose we may as well get to it.
Ulnan, are you proficient with medium armor?
I believe I am. 1 second. Oh, I am not. Boop, boop, boop.
Well, that complicates matters.
I mean, technically, you haven't leveled yet. Did you get a feat this round?
No. So as I'm removing the armor, I look at that and I'm like, I won't be able to wear that. I guess you should keep it, Akai. If things change, we will maybe revisit this conversation.
Okay, we'll just consider it with me for safekeeping then.
That sounds good.
All right. So I'm going to head off to the market now.
To the Explorers Guild.
Go in the market.
All right. So Nibbs, yeah, you have no problem selling that used gear. There is one regular health potion available at one of the stalls, if that's what you're looking for.
Yep. How about Alchemist Fire?
Yeah, there'll be some of that.
Oh, wait. It's 75 for Alchemist Fire. Oh, no, it's 50. I'll get a vial of Alchemist Fire, and that'll leave me with 11. I'll just keep the 11. I don't.
Okay.
So, Ryan?
Yes.
We haven't actually done our level up, have we? Because we haven't had the long rest for it.
That is correct. Yeah.
Ulnan's about to multi-class into Paladin.
Nice.
Does that get you your medium armor? Because sometimes you don't get armor proficiencies when you multitask.
I'm not sure.
I think with Paladin and Fighter, you get medium armor, and maybe even Cleric.
Yeah, Paladins get light armor, medium armor, shield, simple weapons, and martial weapons.
Okay, I think I'm done in the market, so if anybody else needs to go.
Okay. Then we will go to Old Knell and Deacon at the Explorers Guild. You guys walk in, and the place smells fairly fresh, despite the looks of it. It looks pretty dingy, but it's all aired out. There's no smell of smoke hanging in the air. There's no adventurers hanging about, but the man behind the bar is there cleaning glasses, and he nods to the two of you as you enter.
Deacon's going to kind of look around, and at it being so very empty, he's going to kind of look at old Knell and say, well, where are all the strong arms, I wonder?
Well, I don't know, mate. I'll admit I had ulterior motives to come in here, but, let's try the tender and see what he has to say, and we'll walk up to the bar.
Howdy, mates. What can I do for you today?
Got a bit of a quiet house there, mate. Isn't this usually full of explorers?
Yeah, usually. Up until a few days back, started getting quiet. Haven't had too many adventuring types through. And might I say, it's good to see you. Is there anything I can get you?
Point of bitters.
Make that two.
All right, that'll be a silver piece for the both of you.
And I'll flip him the coins.
Nope, too late. I said it first. I paid for it.
Oh, fine.
He thanks you and passes you each a stein.
Do you have any idea where the adventuring types might be? Like, are they laying low? Do you have rooms here that people might be sleeping in? I know that there's been a fair amount of lassitude that has afflicted the population, but surely the adventuring types might be a little bit hardier and more prone to the troubles that we're having.
Can you give me an insight check? I don't know. Do you?
I don't know. Did you give it to us after the last adventure?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think I have one.
Normal roll it is. Oh, a mighty 6. I flip it around.
Deacon, you can give me an insight too if you want.
Sure.
All right. So, old Knell, you're asking him this question, oblivious. But Deacon, you note that the barkeep has stopped washing the glass, and you see sweat dripping from his brow and running down his face. And he looks a little afraid of you two.
I'm gonna kind of look at him sideways and say, for a bartender at an adventurers guild, you look a mite nervous. What's going on, friend?
Sorry, not used to strangers coming in here anymore. It's been so quiet. It's a little bit unnerving having you two just waltz in and start asking questions. It's nothing against you two. Just feel uneasy.
I think I'd try saying, if it makes you feel better, mate, I could bend your knees backwards for you, which, it comes out like not nearly as threatening, like whatever thieves can't thing I say, but I'm looking for more of a reaction.
You see that he pales and kind of stumbles back into the wall of booze and glasses.
Right. And old Nell's going to flip his hood up off his face, revealing his scarred visage, and he's going to say, you got one chance, mate. Come clean or I'm coming across the bar. And if I may, I'd like to...
All right, you can give me an intimidation check.
Can I...
Of my injury.
Yeah, I think that gives you advantage, doesn't it?
It surely does, and I can't get much better than that.
He wets himself as you threaten him, and he drops the glass that he had been cleaning. It shatters on the floor, and he holds up his hands and says, Listen, friend, I don't want no trouble. Please, spare me. And he says all that in Thieves' Cant.
Right, and then also in Thieves' Cant, let's just talk politely for the sake of the tourists so everyone can understand. And I'm going to then say in like common, let's try again. Where are the adventurers?
They're all at home. They're all staying home. They've all lost their nerve. Don't want to risk going out into the Brightwood. There's trouble brewing. We can all feel it.
You got a piece of paper on you?
Yep.
I want 5 names, the maddest, angriest, craziest bastard think of, whether they're, not well thought of because of how wild they are, loners, mysterious types, the people who are always chasing after nonsense. I want your craziest adventurers on a list and where I can find them.
Yeah, sure, no problem. And he starts working at a list for you.
And I'm going to lean over to Deacon and I'm going to say, yeah, he speaks Thieves' Cant. So whether that's because he's got ties to Heartsbane or whether that's because he's, just an old experienced hand, I couldn't say. But I don't know. There's clearly something else going on here, whether it's just the god's plagues or whether he's got some sort of connection to the other mysterious things going on in town, the Drow, the Thieves Guild. I don't know. I kind of think that we've gotten what we need from here. I don't know how much more we might want to push him.
I tend to agree. I'm not sure he does know more. I say we go after these fellas and see if we can convince them.
Well,
all right.
Appreciate you having my back. I'm going to turn back to the guy and I'm just going to say, look, mate, I don't want to hurt you and I don't want you to give me a reason to. You never saw us, we were never here. And I'm going to take his list and turn around and leave.
Yeah, and on the list, he's got 5 names. Error, Rewalt, Amok, Bolga, and Obash. And locations for where they live. They all live very close to the Explorers Guild.
Recruitment montage.
So, quick montage. They're all in the same state as the bartender was. Like, they don't want to open their doors for you. There's a tremor in their voices. They're scared of you and don't want to have anything to do with you.
Can you give us a quick description of them? Like, are they all like rough and ready explorer outdoorsman types? Look like they might be spellcasters. Sorry to put you on the spot for 5 NPCs, but
no problem.
If I had to take a rough guess at a class and maybe a level, who would be?
They're all physical fighter types, like fighters, barbarians, rangers. The Error and Rewalt are humans. Amok is a dragonborn. Bolga and Obash are orcs. They all look big and strong. Like, you wouldn't pin them for being cowardly types to look at them. Although they do look like they are maybe starting to lose some weight, and not as strong as they may have once been.
Well, Deacon, I don't know. If you've got any preference, like, speak up. To be honest with you, I feel inclined to maybe give one of my god's items to one of the orcs, because, if after what we did to the halfling gal, yonder, what that consequences had for the halfling people. If we kill Grumsh, it's not like every orc is evil or wicked. Indeed, these men have chosen to be part of society. But if we kill Grumsh, it could have deadly consequences for the orcish people here. So, what do you think? Do you have a preference here?
Well, I'm a mite nervous if we pick up an orc. We are, in fact, going to their old god to try and slay him. Do you think they'd stay on our side, or do you think they might turn?
If they live amongst people in the city, if they're individuals with reputations for adventuring and are able to live in civilization, I doubt that they're the top to throw in with Grumsh.
Well, all right then. I say we just pick the biggest, ugliest, toughest looking one and see if we can convince them after we let them have that god at it.
To be honest with you, I kind of want to take the smarter one, and that's the ulterior motive I have planned. Because, let's face it, none of these blokes are going to be what Denier is looking for. So I kind of want to send them on ahead to start working on some other projects for me. And if we have somebody who can survive out in the woods and be a little bit more clever and rangery, I think that would serve us best. I'll be honest with you. I think that we're going to need to sort of look to the future and make longer-term plans. So if you trust me, and I know I'm not the easiest one to trust, but I kind of want to maybe see if either of them is more inclined to being woodwise rather than just another hand to carry bags.
Well, I do trust you, my friend, so I'll follow your lead.
You're a good man, Deacon. Sometimes I think you might be too good for the lot of ruffians you've fallen in with, but thank you. I'll try and be worthy of it. So Ryan, are either Bolga or Obash more rangerly rather than barbarian-y, or?
Yeah, Bolga is more rangery.
All right. Male, female?
Female.
We kick in her door, and while she's having a hard time being nervous and scared and weak and everything, old Knell is going to take Talona's vial and is going to hold it out to her and is going to say, "Hold this."
I'm not going to make you roll intimidation. She reaches out with a trembling hand and takes the vial from you. And immediately you see a change come over her, and she frowns. And you hear her stomach rumble, and she says, "What happened to me? What is this magic?
And old Knell is just going to give her, like a satisfied smile, and is going to say, "Why don't we grab lunch? And I'm going to tell you something about the Gods' War, darling." And yeah, like we don't have to roleplay through this entire thing, but basically, old Knell would fill her in and would basically say, like, if you're tired of feeling weak, if you're tired of being victimized and afraid, if you want to strike back against the people that have done all this. That vial, I'm willing to give it to you and give you a shot to get on with the people that are trying to do some good. And I've got a job for you to do if you're willing and if you're up to it.
She says she'd like to go to the Explorers Guild for lunch. She hasn't been there for a while. She feels bad about that. So would you tell her all of this stuff about the Gods' War in the presence of the bartender there?
No, because he's going to be in the back of the house until I call for him, because I'm frightening.
All right. I like that. All right. Yeah, she eats up and listens to your story. And at the end of it, she kind of looks at you and says, maybe it's having a full belly and feeling like my old self again. But I believe you. I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense, seeing how everyone is feeling so afraid right now, and how my appetite came back as soon as you handed me this little glass vial. It's all too weird, but I guess it makes a strange kind of sense. All right. So you want me to go scouting the Brightwood for you?
Yeah, but I know where I want you to go. Rather than scouting, I want you to sort of do what you can to start setting up a base of operations in the Brightwood. And old Knell is going to basically draw her a map to Citadella Inferno, the old elven fortress where we met with Nibbs and Akai. And I'm basically going to say, like, I'm making that the center of the resistance for this group that we're putting together to try and strike back against it. So if you can get there, if you can start sort of establishing a base, cleaning it up, doing what you can to try and find other people who might be willing to resist the god plagues, as we're calling them. Followers of Shiro might be your best result for trying to find any other recruits that might help you. But I'd be counting on you to try and set up provisions and stocks there. Get wood for winter so that we've got something to stay warm with. Food and hardtack so that people can try and make a living out there in the woods in that private fortress that we're going to be raising up. And if you can just do what you can to get started, I know you're only one woman, but do what you can to start establishing a base. We might be trying to conduct an ambush out there to kill an evil god. So we're putting you in charge of at least breaking the trail and getting it set up. Try and find other people, and we'll return to you in short time, I'm sure.
Corpse Float Lake is a fair ways out. Further than I've ever been, that's for sure. But I think I can manage it. I'll see what I can find, see what I can do. Thank you very much. I owe you a great deal for what you've done for me. The life I was living was no life at all.
Well, we have a chance to do some good around here and try and help everybody. We're putting our trust in you, friend. I hope it's not misplaced.
I'll do right by you, don't you worry.
Old Knell will give her a very familiar, like, squeeze on the shoulder, and we'll try and catch back up with the rest of the party. And I'll take Talona's vial back out of my inventory, and I'll just say to Deacon, mate, thanks for trusting me. I know that was maybe a huge risk, but I'm tired of running around like a chicken with me head cut off. I want to start making the rules of the game, and I think that we're going to need a home base.
Well, as I see it, I think that we're going to need to take some big risks to try and set things right here. And, I don't think playing it safe is going to get us anywhere we want to go. So I'll follow you, man.
Appreciate you, mate. Let's hope the rest of the party can see it that way.
And I think we're probably good. We'll head back to the inn.
I'm good if you are.
All right. So next up is the Arcane District, and we have Wynn and Ulnan heading up that way to try to help with recruitment. You would have Denier traveling with you, and he would tell you along the way that he's already tried talking to some of the higher-ups, and they're too consumed with trying to figure out how to stabilize their magic. That reminded me that I was going to, in the fight with Azuth and Lyra, I had added a feature to all of the first level wizards that weren't gods for wild magic. So anytime they cast a spell, there was a chance of wild magic, and I totally forgot about it during the fight. That sucks. Anyway,
I was all set to remember that, I tell you.
I'd even put it as a feature on there so that like we had the wild magic tables to roll on and everything. The best laid plans. Anyway, so he knows that the higher ups aren't going to join him in his travels, but he's looking for anyone else who might.
Did you mention to them that coming might help restore their magic?
No, I don't want to bias them. I want someone with a good heart who will offer to do it and then restore their magic. Because if I offer it to just anyone who I tell them that they'll get their magic back, any of them would jump at the opportunity. And I am planning on giving someone Ogma's belt when I find someone suitable.
That makes a lot of sense. Good logic. Let's go find someone.
All right. So you guys make your way to the Arcane District. And as before, there's no shortage of wizardly types sitting around talking, discussing their woes.
Are any of them the ones that I spoke to earlier?
Yes.
Hello again.
Hello. And kind of, they even though you've met them before, they still have this nervousness about them as you approach.
And I don't get too close. I remember social distancing.
What can I do for you?
I think the disease that's been plaguing Nordgard should be addressed now. So that part of the problems here will be getting better. We're looking for somebody who would like to come and help right more of the wrongs that have been plaguing the world. This gentleman in particular is looking for a companion, but he will be traveling with us.
Where are you traveling to?
On a dangerous mission to try and right some of the wrongs that are going on right now.
A dangerous mission? Is it? That's not for me. No.
Is here very safe?
Well, you just said it's safer. You took care of the poison and the disease and such. So, yeah.
Here and everywhere else is safer because of that.
Well, that's good.
Would you know of anybody who would generally aim to help things around here? You must know.
Can you give me a persuasion check?
I really got to get proficiency in that. I talk too much.
Am I allowed to assist with mine?
Sure.
Why aren't we having you talk? Ooh, thanks for the assist.
He kind of straightens up a little bit and says, well, I'd like to help. I just... a dangerous mission sounds terrifying. Why would anybody want to do that?
Mostly because you see the wrong and you feel the need to help fix it.
I do wish I could fix it, but the problem is everywhere. It's so many things are going wrong. It's impossible to fix.
One step at a time.
I wish I had your optimism.
Before this started, what did you do?
I was a teacher here at the academy. Taught young wizards introductory spells.
And other than just introductory spells, what did you teach them about how and when to use the skills you were teaching them?
Well, it depended on the types of magic. Obviously, we wouldn't be asking them to go out and harm anyone if they were learning evocations and charms and all those sorts of things. You always want them to be careful and safe. And now with everything going on with our magic becoming wild, there is no safe use of magic anymore.
I look at him for a moment, and I give him a look that is somewhere between not sure if I'm going to shake my head and tisk, or nod understandingly.
I guess life is scary, and particularly now. You just have to choose how you want to react to it. Is Denier saying anything in all of this?
He's watching you two work. Give me another persuasion check.
Which one of us?
Which one?
Either of you. You're both talking to him.
I'll help him this time.
Okay.
I won't help him this time. I don't have the skill.
That was perception. That was the wrong roll.
Oh, well, what would your persuasion had wound up being if you had rolled a 5?
1 sec. My persuasion is a +7, so it would have only been a 9. 14.
He looks up at you, and for a moment you see a glimmer in his eye. He says, "You're very brave to be trying to help everybody. I wish I could be brave like you. I wish I could help. I love teaching students. I miss it."
The only way to get students back is to fix what's going on here and in the lands around the city. And that's going to take risks, and that's going to take bravery, and that's going to take good people.
Okay, one more persuasion check. Wow, 26 is great. He looks at you and says, I'm a good person. I swear. I don't feel very brave right now. But if I could help, I want to help.
I look questioningly at Denier.
Denier steps forward, and he smiles at both of you and says, "My good man, I do believe you. I believe that these two have found a worthy candidate. Here." And he removes the cummerbund and hands it to the wizard. And as soon as the wizard puts it on, a look comes over his face of confusion, and he says, I feel very different. Starving.
I've got a lot to fill you in on.
Oh, I imagine so. Well, can it be over lunch, perhaps?
Sure thing.
Excellent.
And perhaps we'll do that right across the street.
Sure thing. Yeah. They're, well, I wouldn't say happy to see you again, but...
willing to?
Yeah, they're willing to see you and allow your new companion to have a meal there. His name is Sir Keywold, and he wolfs down a lunch like nobody's business. And you guys fill him in on what's going on. And he is very thoughtful throughout the description of what's happening, and says, "So we're going to fix things by killing gods and gathering godly items. But if all of the bad things that are happening are caused by the deaths of gods, does killing gods make sense?"
Killing the bad ones, definitely. Killing the goddess of disease will weaken disease. Seems like a good thing, right?
Well, especially with everybody in weakened state because they're not hungry. Yes, it is good that disease will not easily sweep through the population anymore. So, you wish me to follow you into the Brightwood and help battle Grumsh, god of orcs?
That's, yeah, about it.
This is quite the ask, but what will happen to the orcs and half-orcs who live in Nordgard? There are many good people here who might suffer if killing Grumsh would harm them.
I don't know. And actually, what do I know about specifically what happened to the halflings? Like, I know it wasn't good. Do I know specifics?
Yes. I believe we talked about how a lot of halflings have died. Like the majority of the population have died. The Temple of Charot is doing their best to keep the remaining halflings alive. But it's consuming a lot of their energy to do so.
What does Daenerys say to that?
To what?
The question about what will happen to the orcs.
He lets out a long, slow sigh and says, "It is difficult to say. Yondala was a civilized god who loved her people, and the halflings of this city would have been civilized folk as well, one would think. I'm not sure if the orcs, having removed themselves from their tribal ways and violence that is typical under Grumsh, I'm not sure if perhaps they have already removed themselves from his influence and would fare better with the death of the god of the orcs. It may be a different god would affect them more strongly, but that the death of Grumsh will only affect those who are prone to violence."
So she'll look back at our new friend?
Well, I suppose, given that we simply can't know, it's worth the risk. But if this Grumsh has killed your friend Farlang, as you say, he could be powerful, and you Tia have spoken of him sending out groups of orcs and goblins, so he must have many under his command to go looking for these items. It will be a difficult task, but I do have some spells that may help if we run into larger conflict.
Also, it is not just the four of us. We do have some other friends.
Yes, and you do sound like a mighty group. If you've done some of the things that you claim. So perhaps we will be enough against an orcish army.
We don't know, but it's hard to sit here and just watch the world fall apart and do nothing.
I agree. I will help you in this. I just hope that we're not doing more harm than good along the way.
Agreed.
And Seer here finishes his meal and says, "All right, I'm ready to go."
And we will head back to the inn.
All right, so some time has passed. You guys meet up in the afternoon at the inn.
If we have nothing urgent right now, I would like to spend some time in solitude pondering recent events.
Before you go into solitude, Tia, a moment of your time.
Sure.
And old Knell, taking you aside, is just going to say, "Look, I wanted to apologize and say I was sorry. Recent events have given me a lot to consider, and losing Tempest was hard because I owed him an apology for bad behavior, and now I'm never going to get a chance to give it. So I don't want to just leave this lingering between us. After his loss, you were upset and vulnerable, and I scolded you for being short with Nibbs, and that wasn't right of me. I think that my motives in the moment were because I really do think of you as being perhaps a little bit older and wiser than maybe it's fair to do so. I mean, you're a young individual who, having become a master of magic, is also on some kind of quest to find a magic sword and you carry yourself with mystery and elan, and I didn't expect you to go off on Nibbs like that, but it wasn't right of me to scold you. I should have recognized that you were in the throes of your own grief and coming to terms with your own mortality, and I'm sorry for how I behaved, and I hope that you can forgive me.
She'll pause for just a moment, and then she'll throw her arms around you and break into tears. It's a lot of emotion stored up in her, and she's very short.
Yeah, like head at an awkward place, like probably headbutted him in the belly, and he probably almost went over when you upset his center of gravity, but after a moment he'll just gingerly give you a pat and say, like, there, lass. It's a lot, but it's okay. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna keep fighting and trying to make it okay.
Thanks. I'm still grieve his loss.
He was one of the good ones, and for what it's worth, I think we might be lucky enough to have found maybe another good one. But we'll see how this little adventure goes and where it ends. For what it's worth, I'm just glad that we're together and trying to do something to fix things before the powers that be turn the page on this world. You go have your rest, lass. You let us know if you need.
Sounds good. And she'll whisper to you, I'm thinking about the moon. And then she'll head off on her own.
Then I'm going to confess to the rest of the party that I gave up the one god item that we just got in the hopes of finding a new ally, and just going to honestly say, like, gave it up to this orc lady. She was really pretty, had a nice rump, and she's going to go set up a secret base for us in the woods. It's all cool. I know what I'm doing.
Excellent.
I think that'd be about the moment that maybe Nibbs and Akai walk in the room. Back shopping.
Yeah, who's rump? What? Okay.
Our new friend Bolga. She's setting up a base for us in the woods.
Are we going there right now?
Wait a minute.
Dunno. Did you find everybody that the old man needs for us to leave the city?
I think he just needed one person. Did he? I didn't go to the wizard's place.
We found one with him, and after he agreed to join us, I believe our god companion indicated that he was ready.
All right. Well, I think it's a matter of supper and rest and leave in the morning then, right?
I don't see why not.
So I guess since we kind of have the run of this inn and nobody's questioned us yet, we'll rest the day and get to it in the morning, unless anybody objects.
No, it sounds good to me.
The owner of the inn eventually does show up around dinner time and does object. He would appreciate payment for the room.
Which is how much?
A silver piece each.
Done.
I have all the group money, so I'll pay it.
Oh, I have some money on my person. Not a lot, but I have enough for this for sure.
Mike, were you tracking the money?
I had been, yeah.
Do you want? I can give you back what I have for change.
Okay, and that's how much?
It was $11.50 or 5 silver. Sorry, 11 gold and 5 silver.
Got it.
And I report back that I got a potion of healing, which I have on me right now, but I can give that to anybody. I don't have one, but I would, if Akai, who's our kind of our line, doesn't have one there.
Sorry, you're cutting out, Shane.
Oh, am I?
You were.
Oh, how about now?
Wonderful.
Way better.
Oh, okay. I had the mic a little away from my face. Yeah, so what was I gonna do? I have a potion of healing and an alchemist fire, and I present them on the table in front of the group to be assigned as best suited.
Well, I fall down a lot, so I'm not sure I'm the best person to have one.
I wonder, who is the most mobile and able to move around the battlefield? I think they should have the potion of healing. Is that Nibbs, perhaps?
I am pretty good at that. I can move through other people's spaces. I can not provoke attack of opportunities by attacking people. But I'm sure there's other people that are just as the only thing. I will say this: if we give the potion of healing to Win, at least we know there'll be one on her if we get to her body.
When she
give
falls.
it to her.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's true.
I had not considered that aspect. On the other hand, I'm less likely to be able to get to somebody should things go horribly wrong.
True. But like I have, well, after I sleep, I have the ability to, I got a healing word. I can bring people up from afar. For me to have it, maybe not making the most sense. My vote is with Win.
You know, I think mine is too, because I think all the rest of us, maybe not Jesse, all the rest of us have a way to self-heal, right? Like Marthe and I can second wind. The rest of you have healing magic. Yeah.
Are my 2 levels of fighter a joke to you?
Oh, sorry, buddy. I forgot you had 2 levels.
It's all good.
There was a little bit of indignance there.
No, I do have second wind as needed. It's just, I've got so little hit points, I've rarely had the chance to have it make a difference.
I relate to that.
So maybe it is good for Win to have it, because then at least everybody has some self-healing, and if she does go down, we can give it to her.
I think so.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a safety net, that's all.
Done.
All right, Alchemist Fire.
I make my own fire now.
Not it.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I took Fireball.
Nice.
What did you take as your second spell?
I ended up taking Blink.
Oh, nice.
I thought about Slow, but I have currently other concentration ones that would vie.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I have it in my inventory. I'll hold on to it.
Sleep? Can we sleep now? Sleep?
I think so.
Yeah, you guys can sleep.
Ryan, I put a message in chat saying that as soon as she had a little bit of downtime, she was going to try and commune with Saloon's item and power and try and learn anything more she could.
Okay. Tonight you can give me a religion check.
She will also ask somebody, whoever's on watch in the party, to see if the moon that happens while she's sleeping happens still or if there's any changes.
Okay.
Does Win have prestidigitation?
Yes, she does. What do you need cleaned up?
Well, it's just a dirty little mouse.
Okay. You're talking like blood from damages and
Yeah.
yeah. She'll clean both of us up.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks. And then
You're welcome.
I'll wish you good night and leave.
Old Knell is happy to take
I guess
watch release.
Sorry.
No.
Watch is a good idea. I'd be willing to take a watch too.
I'll take a watch. Just tell me where you want me.
3, 4, whichever it is.
7, 6, whatever, yep.
Yeah, we've got. I guess the watch order is no longer good because Mega and Lugga are not with you guys.
And we had some losses and yeah.
Maybe somebody should route to Mega and Lugga. Well, I guess we're gonna see him right away now. We slept.
Don't say that.
Just thinking that we should have, somebody came across him.
Yeah, well, once we figured out what was going on in the city, it was kind of freaky at the beginning.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a watch order in the chat? As in down to Old Knell, down to Akai, down to Nibbs, down to Ulnan.
I didn't hear that, Jesse. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I was just saying, why don't we take watch in the order as we appear from the chat, from the top general all the way down. So starting with Deacon and Ulnan being last.
Sounds reasonable.
Good enough.
And did you get my roll, Ryan?
Religion 19.
Yep.
I just have to check something quick.
Would be petty of me to suggest we do the opposite for no reason.
Little bit.
Other than be petty.
Yes, it would.
Okay, then I won't.
Okay. Win. You sit down with your magic item and open yourself up to it. And you feel that it is present with you and listening to your desires.
I desire the moon back in the sky. What sort of any additional information on the vibe I'm getting from it?
Yes. The connection blinks out.
Okay. As in it was unhappy with me?
I could see why you'd think that.
Thanks, Ryan. Love ya. Okay. I'll go outside and look.
Okay, give me a perception check. You look up into the starry night sky and see only stars. There is no moon.
And what would have been the phase of the moon today? Would there have been a moon tonight?
Oh, I saw it when I logged in. It is a crescent moon.
Okay, so there would have been a moon.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Can I reestablish the connection at all tonight or no?
You can give me a religion check.
Nope.
Not tonight.
That's fair.
I managed to get the calendar up and a waning gibbous.
Pardon me, Shane?
Sorry?
Sorry. Is this better?
Yep.
Yeah, you're sounding clear again.
Okay. I managed to get the calendar up and it was waning gibbous.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't matter, but
hey, every little bit helps. Anybody else doing anything tonight?
Yep. So with Wynn having done these things during my watch while she's asleep, is the moon visible? Is the little moon popping back up?
I just need to check the watch order again. Okay, so Tia is later in the morning. So Deacon would have been the first one to note what happens as everybody settles into sleep. Although Tia was doing her religions. Okay, so it'll be by the time old Knell's ready to do his watch, Tia's feeling sleepy and heads to bed. So yes, old Knell would see what happens.
Okay, and so there isn't a moon that is orbiting her.
It's a little bit more than that. As she settles into sleep, and you hear her breathing become rhythmic and deep, you see a small miniature version of the moon. What did you say, Shane? Waxing gibbons? Waning gibbons. Gibbous. Okay. You see this tiny moon start to orbit, and as you watch, you note that it starts to speed up. It's going faster, and you watch it. As you watch it, you see that the moon begins to go through all of its phases. You see it becoming brighter and darker as it's orbiting and speeding up above Tia's head.
Old Knell is going to come to Tia's side to kneel down, moving as quietly as so as to disturb her, and just gently reaching out one finger. Can I sort of try to make the minimal amount of contact with as it orbits around her?
Give me a dexterity saving throw. An 18, that's pretty good. You start to reach forward very slowly and manage to pull your finger back just before the moon would have streaked right through where your finger had been. And you watch as this orbit continues to get larger and larger until it encompasses the entire room, going around and around.
Old Knell is going to clasp his hands together for a brief second, and then realizing that he's still wearing Sira's, just temporarily shuck them off because it doesn't seem appropriate to have an evil god's artifacts on his hands while he clasps them to pray. And he will gently say, under his breath so as not to disturb anyone, please, I don't know how to pray. I don't know how to do religion. All I know how to do is beg. And so I'm begging you, please, if just a little bit of faith helps you, if just a little bit of prayer gives you that little bit of push, we need hope. We need to know that what we're doing is helping. We need to know that we can save people and that there's a chance for us. So please, come back to us. I'll give you more faith. I'll pray to you. I'll make sacrifice, whatever you want. Just give us back the moon. Give my friend courage. And he'll prick his finger with the tip of a knife and will let a little bit of blood fall to the floor and just say, if my life can be made a sacrifice to try and bring to the world, let it start here. Please accept my prayers. And then, because he is an old sitter, he's trying to. His attempt at sincerity had any visible effect if his prayers seemed to empower or change the moon in any fashion.
As soon as old Knell finishes his prayer and looks up, you watch as the moon suddenly streaks out the window and flies up into the night sky.
If I weren't sleeping, I'd be cheering.
And, is it getting bigger? Is it visible in the heavens?
You lose sight of it as it goes further and further away, and you do not see it hanging in the night sky.
Okie dokes. I'll finish out the rest of my watch, and when it comes time to wake up Akai for hers, I'm just going to say, by the way, Akai, before I turn in, I wanted to say something to you. I'm sorry. When you first came to us, I was untrusting, and while I don't know that was necessarily unjustified, I was threatening and standoffish, and I did my best to intimidate you because honestly, I was pretty scared of you. You're an imposing warrior lady. You've got some sort of thing going on with you, and let's face it, the whole magic cat shifting thing is also kind of intimidating. But you didn't deserve to be threatened. You've done nothing but right by us, and I'll do my best to trust you if you think you can trust me, and I'm sorry. Just trying to do my part to get right with things, make apologies where apologies are due when I can. Totally understand if you don't want to take it at face value. Have a good watch.
I think she's going to be stunned a little bit because she's not a morning person, not a wake-up person. And she's going to be like, whoa, that's a lot. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Don't slip on the blood. Somebody was bleeding all over the floor, and old Nell's going to jump in his sleeping bag and turn over.
What?
All right. So that was a thing that happened. Is there anything else anybody wants to do tonight?
That was two things that happened.
Yeah.
Not if something doesn't have plans with me during my watch.
The night is going to pass uneventfully from here on out, unless you guys want to do something.
I assume there's no moon orbiting Young Win?
Nope, you don't see a moon orbiting, and you don't see one in the sky or anything.
Okay. Well, I probably wouldn't have noticed. I don't know. I probably would have noticed that the moon wasn't there.
She did specifically ask you guys to look in for while she was sleeping.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when I go to wake her for her, I won't go look until I am waking her for her watch. And then I will look and see no moon, wake her and say, good morning, Win. There was no moon above you.
Oh, she will be frantic to hear that.
I don't know what happened to it.
Are you telling her this to her at the transition of the watch, or in the morning
when
we're all up?
Yeah, because she's the next one after me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she's going to be totally freaked by this and spend her entire watch watching, but also checking outside the window and trying to commune with the items and just double checking, little frantic.
Yeah, that's fair. So frantic that you're not going to pass a religion check on.
Oh yeah, definitely not
on an attempt. And so your watch passes to Ulnan's turn, and you haven't made any headway.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I'll wake up Ulnan.
I don't think actually Nibbs would have gone to sleep with her in that state of obvious agitation. So he probably would stay awake and just, offer reassurances and whatnot to her pacing and ranting.
Thank you so much for your kindness there. Yes, she thinks she's accidentally lost the moon.
But when it's time to wake up Ulnan, he'll probably go and catch some more Z's.
Yeah, once Ulnan's actually watching, she's going to keep looking for the moon. She's not going back to sleep.
Ooh, would that affect your spells?
Oh, possibly.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, definitely, yes. I already did the who's what's it, but I will figure out what I had already used up, Ryan.
Okay.
I had used my arcane restoration, so I had gotten some of them back, but I marked off where they were from that tonight.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I think we're ready to go find Mega and Lugga.
Not quite yet.
Oh, okay. What's up, Ulnan?
When he wakes up, and as he's getting organized, he looks at Akai and he says, "You know what? I would like to try that armor on, if that's all right."
Okay. It might be a little stinky, but sure.
And he will, being pretty much oblivious to it could be stanky, he will equip himself in the half plate.
And miraculously, somehow overnight, Ulnan became proficient in medium armor and could wear it.
The slipper fits.
It's a D&D miracle.
The D&D miracle indeed.
Every time the bell rings, Paladin multiclasser gets his half plate.
Not quite as elegant as the original phrasing.
No.
Who wants to carry this leather?
Well, I think, let me see what I'm wearing. I think I've got studded leather. That would just bring me down. What's the plus on it again?
Intimidation.
Not really his thing. Actually, I am wearing leather, so it would be straight across. Damn it, I think I sold a set of studded leather armor, too.
Yep.
This is why I'm so good at this game.
Oh, we'll get more.
That's true.
I'm just not sure that I am strong enough to wear this plate and carry around another set of armor with me.
Well, all right. I'll throw it on because it's basically what I have. So, but I'm not going to intimidate anybody with it.
I will definitely miss that part of it. My intimidate has served me well today. Ulnan will get into his newfangled armor as quick as he can so that we can be on the road on our grand adventure.
And I will switch into my evil leather suit. Brian,
Sounds good.
Can you give me that magic item? Or?
Oh, yeah. Wow, Nibbs is turning into quite the evil guy here. Balls, black leather. Talos is black leather gloves.
He just needs a ball gag and we're all good to go.
It's always those cute ones, you know.
Ulnan is turning into the athlete.
On the way out, I sell the leather. I think we're right by the market, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, you want to throw another 2 gold and 5 copper on the community pot, if at all possible?
Done.
Thanks. All right, I'm good to go.
All right. So you gather up the party and head north into the Brightwood.
Does anybody have any strong opinions to where we're heading to in the Brightwood? Or do you guys mind much as old Knell starts steering the Citadella Inferno?
Missed the last part of that, Jesse.
Or does anybody have any objections about old Knell steering us towards the Inferno Citadella?
Go ahead, Shane.
I was just going to say, yeah, I think seems like a logical place to head first.
And I'm going to try Shane's trick of trying to find some animals along the way.
Oh, yeah. I can help with that.
Awesome, because I think if we could, either one of us can speak to them and try and get some information.
Yep. I think I can ritually cast that.
Are our goblins doing good?
Yes, your goblins are just fine.
Yay. Go ahead.
I was going to ask whichever of them is wearing. First, I'm going to ask the group, do we mind if I switch out one of my items if our friend here is okay with it? I think I might find that the religion information more useful than the investigation.
Hey, whatever you want.
Luga, I believe, had the ring, Merkel's ring. Is that right, Ryan?
I'm just looking. Oh, I only have it marked as the party has it. I didn't say which. So yeah, it doesn't matter which goblin had it. They'll trade it.
Awesome. Could I switch out the ingot for that ring, please?
You bet.
Thank you muchly. I'm making a lot of religion checks, and I could clearly use the help.
Yeah.
I think as we're also heading out into the woods, old Knell will just say, "By the way, Tia, while I was watching your moon last night, I tried praying to you, and it had a outrageous effect." And he'll just sort of describe everything and be like, "So I hope that helps," and turn back to steering the mules.
Oh, I thought I lost the moon. Oh my goodness. So, okay, well, that's good news. It did. Oh, I hope it's good news. Oh, we'll have to try and figure out what this means. But thank you. Thank you for telling me.
Well, I mean, seems like acts of worship tend to wind up the moon and maybe empowers you. Maybe next we try a blood sacrifice of I don't know, some wizard.
Ryan, from my communing with the items so far, what I don't recall a reading of Saloon ever looking for blood sacrifices.
I guess you could give me a religion check.
So it didn't tell me that when
Ryan,
I had the initial attuning to the items?
It never came up.
just a question for you. She's about to perform a religion check. I am now a jack of all trades, so I have half proficiency in everything. Does that mean I can help her?
Sure.
Okay, as I'll do that as a bonus action, because I can do that.
And if I was able to switch to that ring back, I'll have 2 higher than what I roll here.
Oh, I already gave you the ring back.
I will reload my character. I see it. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so here's the thing. Saloon is, or was, a mostly good god, I believe.
Chaotic good.
There have been times throughout history where people have felt that blood sacrifices to the moon are appropriate, such as when there is a blood moon. So it's not unheard of, but it's not something that you necessarily have to do.
Did she have more common ways of showing devotion?
Yeah, just dancing in the moonlight, in a grove type of thing. Much more common.
I will suggest that. Because we don't have a blood moon right now, so...
Nope, not yet.
Yeah, so I will suggest that right now. And I will actually share all of it, that it sometimes people did, but in general, peaceful dancing and not generally real violent.
I mean, it's good to know that perhaps legitimate prayer and acts of worship can potentially help empower items once somebody has made an actual, genuine, deific bond with them. Speaking of, Ulnan, have you noticed anything with your new armor?
Not yet.
No, you don't. The only thing that Ulnan would have noticed was that yearning for it has disappeared.
These sort of things grow on you like a cancer. But so can we do? Is there anything left that we have to do in the city?
Do we have enough provisions to head out into the wilderness for a while?
I have 9 days of rations. Plus, I'm not bad at finding food.
Okay, then if we're good, then let's assume that we're on the road.
I do need to buy rations.
No worries.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, anything else?
And just to confirm, we have a cart again?
I think so.
Yes, you purchased it at Gorald's Rest.
Excellent.
Ryan?
Yes.
Now that the moon mystery has been solved, or at least tabled for now, would it be possible for her to continue her rest to get her spells?
She'll need a long rest for that.
So she'd have to restart her whole rest, like do another 8 hours?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I was thinking that maybe she could just sleep on the cart for a couple hours and then even. All right. Travel montage?
Travel montage. So yeah, you guys do travel the whole day. There are no combat issues along the way. I'm not sure, other than what you've already talked about, is there anything else that you wanted to do?
I'd like to have a crash course in all the gods from the God of Knowledge. I don't need you to go through it all, but I just want Nibbs to kind of get taught in it a little bit. So that maybe he might have like a bonus or something to religion roll later to if the god of knowledge isn't around or something.
What I'll say is that the DC for knowledge checks on the gods will go down.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And also, while our travel montage is going on, and I expect this will be a conversation for some time between games, I'm going to attempt to attune to the armor.
Okay, we can do that right now. Because I have all the notes from when we did this with Wynn.
Excellent.
All right. So she would have let you know that she realized she needed to attune to her. So to do that is takes place over the course of a short rest. You can do that while the cart's trundling down the road. As you open yourself up to the artifact, you feel it pulling at the very fabric of your being. A vision of the artifact drawing in a wispy substance from your body fills your mind. Do you want to continue?
Yes.
More time passes, and you feel a bond with the object, and your awareness begins to fragment and spread. I'd like a wisdom save, DC 10, please.
Well, it's going to get tricky as it goes on. I imagine I'm not able to guidance myself on that.
Nope.
I don't know why I did that.
We'll take the first roll, which is an 8.
Womp womp.
Fails. You can't maintain focus, and your head hurts. You take D6 psychic damage per character level, and this damage cannot kill you.
Whoa!
So you take 26 psychic damage as the spreading awareness suddenly snaps back to you like a rubber band and just smashes your brain.
Okay.
And that takes you out of the attempt to attune.
There's always another day.
Yep.
So for us people that aren't maybe battling their inner demons here, what do we see or hear?
You guys would have seen Ulnan kind of go into a deep trance for about half an hour, and then all of a sudden he just topples over and reacts to intense pain in his mind.
Whoa, are you okay?
I'm
Ulnan,
fine.
what happened?
I am fine. I suspect Wynn's attempt went a little smoother than mine did. I will try again tomorrow.
I hate to say this, man, but it looks like it just about killed you.
And we will perhaps learn at some point if that is something it will do. And I know there are healers here with us other than just me, so I'll be fine.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it would do that.
Well, I mean, if you just look at it, it's that which makes up me and that which makes up the essence of that piece of equipment. I don't imagine either of those is all but willing to see itself let go, even if it is for a better good.
Sorry, I'd been staring at the Brightwood map for a while now and realized that you guys were all still on Nordgard.
After that happens, I'm going to, once I get my bearings back, I'm actually going to have a conversation with Wynn while we're traveling about what that attuning process entailed for her.
Okay.
Just so I understand it better.
So
Yeah,
we're headed north towards Corpse Float Lake. Is that right?
Yeah, because the Citadel is kind of on the western edge of the lake.
Okay. All right.
So, Jodi, do you remember the process that you went through for attuning to the item?
I can read it all out. I just have to scroll up a little ways.
Okay.
Just finding the beginning.
And I guess also let me know when we're at the end of our day so that I can heal my darn butt up.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there's nothing happening today in the travels, so you can feel free to do that right away.
So she opened herself up to the artifact and felt it pulling at the very fabric of my being. A vision of the artifact drawing in a wispy substance from my body. It didn't hurt.
I'm jealous.
And didn't hurt, didn't feel scary or alarming. I felt in between each of these, I had a choice and a decision on whether I wanted to continue. Next, I felt a bond with the object, and my awareness began to fragment and spread. But I managed to wrap my head around it. My awareness expanded in my local area, and I saw 3 tendrils branching off in different directions. It felt as if I'd grown in size. Although I do still see my body and the bag of moon dust, I saw a great deal more, as if I was an invisible giant with countless eyes to see in all directions. My awareness traveled great distances, although I'm not sure where the 3 tendrils are going. Vast expanses of the world filter past my experience. Vision wasn't the right word anymore. And I have a deeper connection to the world around me than anything I'd ever experienced. And I sense that the journey is coming to an end soon, and I had another choice on continuing. At that point in time, I did sense the other 3 artifacts, those who used them and their locations. I drew on their power even at those great distances, and the 4 items feel like home. And if I chose to complete the attunement at this point, those 4 items would be mine, as they once belonged to Saloon. And I had to make the choice if I wanted to take on this Saloon's role. They fill me in on Saloon so that I know everything I know to make the decision. They wanted to ensure that I would be the right person, that I would be a good fit for them as well. Then they lastly asked me to make sure I'm sure, because once I make it, there's no going back. I cannot choose a different god later. It's a commitment. And then I returned to myself with a greater awareness in general. I knew where Talona was. Well, generally, not specific. But I knew who killed Saloon.
Thank you. That gives me much to think on. Rolling.
All right. So the first day passes uneventfully, other than Ulnan getting his head smacked.
All right.
You guys gonna set up camp?
Yes.
How's our crew of motley followers getting along? Because now we have and the wizard that we recruited, as well as our 2 goblins. Like, we've got a pretty full wagon. Is everybody just sort of really crammed in the back, or how are the NPCs?
It's definitely tight quarters. You don't want to try to fit anyone else in there. One of the goblins will usually be riding up front with you, Denier doesn't seem to be bothered by the goblins, and neither is Sihir.
Okie dokes.
So back to my original question. You guys setting up camp?
Yep.
Yeah, I said yes.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
Can
Can I get a survival check?
Surely.
I can help with that, or do it, whichever.
What's your survival?
+7.
I will help you.
Okay.
Piece of cake. You found a really nice spot and settle in for the night. What would you like your watch order to be?
Same as last night, I think.
I would love to be at an end, I think, just in case I lose the moon again.
Good point.
Could
Okay.
Ulnan switch spots with me?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. Night. It's eerily quiet tonight.
Did we find any animals?
You can no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother making you make a check. Even heading down the road all day and no sight of anything as you've been traveling. So Deacon was his first watch. Deacon, you note as Wynn falls asleep for the night that there is no sign of the moon orbiting her at all.
I meant to commune with that again before I went to sleep. Could I do that?
Sure.
Thanks.
Religion check?
I knew you were going to say that. Got nothing.
Oh, less than nothing.
Yep.
You're making shit up right now.
I'm imagining. Got it.
Very, very overactive imagination. But yeah, so once you do go to sleep, nobody is going to see the moon orbiting you tonight.
Crap, I hope it didn't break the moon.
And you'll wake up in the morning, right as rain.
I asked if we saw the moon last night, and then I'm disappointed when nobody did.
So another day travel?
Yep.
Still looking for animals?
Yep.
And another chance to see if I blow my head off.
All right, let's do the blowing the head off first.
And that was a wisdom save, you said, right?
Yeah, you get to that point of the attunement, and it's DC 10. Oh boy.
Because I imagine I can't guidance myself because it's an attunement that takes an hour.
Right. And you take 17 psychic damage.
Oh, piece of cake.
That's nothing. So you guys are looking for animals along the way. And Old Knell, give me a perception check, please.
Rolling at disadvantage because I'm assuming it's daytime. Larf.
Yep. You don't see anything. Give me another check.
Can anybody else perceive anything?
You guys are all in the back of the wagon, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Can I be leaving my rations in the wagon?
Yeah.
Awesome.
One more check, Old Knell.
Jesus.
We are just going to, plummeting on all of our checks this last little bit.
You're gonna run this thing over before you see it.
We need someone sitting up there with Old Knell, it appears.
You have 2 mules, right?
Yep.
Did we have 2 mules?
Yes. Alfarius and Omicron.
All right. Well, since nobody saw it, the wolf is going to howl as you come upon it and lunge at the mules, and we're going to do that combat next time.